We are live.
And we're living a little late today. Hang on, let's just
Yes.
wait for Mr.
Instagram.
Instagram to go live as well. But hello,
Okay,
YouTube. There
there you
we
go.
are.
Do I click
Yeah,
this?
that one. Hang on, I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
There you
All
go.
right.
So, hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. And hello,
Hello,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Um, Today is a bittersweet day, right?
Mhm.
Because we lived late at night tonight.
Yes, yeah.
It's already 10 o'clock our time here in
Here
Calgary,
in
in, our,
Alberta.
in
Yeah.
Alberta, right? But our usual time usually is in the morning, but we're living late tonight
Yes.
for a couple of reasons. One is this morning I
That
actually
was
received a bad news, right, from my
mhm.
family back home. My uncle, which is my brother's mom, passed away,
Yeah.
and so I wasn't um,
In the mood
in the mood
to.
to have a live
Mhm.
session,
Mhm.
um, this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here today. We're continuing
Mhm.
our 90-day challenge. It's already
Yes.
day 8,
Yes,
right?
day 8, and we're living here in our office.
That's right. So if you guys are tuning in first time, my name is Leejay,
And I'm Melissa.
and basically we run a digital business. We've been doing this for about 4 years now, and
Yes.
we provide all the training, all the
The
tools,
system,
the
yeah,
systems, right?
and
That you need.
coaching and mentorship.
Hmm. Everything you need to get started, right?
Yes, yeah.
So anyways, we are on our 90-day challenge today, and
It's
it's an
our day 8.
it's our day 8 exactly, and it's also a brand new week for us, right?
Yes,
We are so happy we finished the first week. There's so
yes,
much values that I was talking about, or sharing to you guys last week, and I felt like there's more that I wanted to give you. Uh,
yeah,
but today's topic, we're going to talk about all about our business, right?
yes, yeah.
Things that we love about it, things that
Mhm.
that really made Melissa unskeptical.
Yes, yeah.
She was the skeptical wife, right?
Yeah, I was skeptical for about a year.
Hmm. Skeptical for about a year, and what did you find out about this? Like how did you convert?
Well, I think it's you were doing the business for a year now, and I got really curious, right?
Hmm.
It's the curiosity that really sparked me into going deeper into learning more about it, because you were so passionate about it. You really want to be successful in it, and there's also results that are coming in that, one of the reason of my skepticism is, um, I didn't know if this could be trusted, right? Like, I don't
That's
know
right.
if it's something legitimate, that, it's very hard nowadays to go online and actually earn online, right?
Hmm.
Because there's so many things that are going on around in the online world that,
Hmm.
people losing money and all these things. And
Hmm.
when I've actually started looking deeper into it,
Hmm.
and there's actually real people who have real stories
Hmm.
to share, and who have gone from really rock bottom, and I connected with them because I us too, we've experienced our own rock bottom, right?
Hmm.
There were times when I was not doing so well, when I was working full
Hmm.
time at my job,
Hmm.
right? And I was leaving the kids in the daycare, and I really wanted something to to give us as a source,
Hmm.
another source, that could at least put um, that income side on, that I could at least go and spend full time at home.
Right.
I like I
Mm.
could at least
What's
stay at home with the kids. And
what?
so when I found out that there
Mm-hmm.
are other people, moms who have children,
Mm-hmm.
who are able to do the same, who are
Mm-hmm.
able to stay at home in and do this full time,
Mm-hmm.
I got really curious, and I was like, oh, how are people actually doing it?
Mm-hmm.
How are other moms doing it? And so there was this single mom, who was very successful in the business and still very successful now. And she is actually one of our coach here in the business. And I was really inspired by her story. Like, she was a single mom of, I think, four daughters. And her story really connected with me because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
mom too. And as moms, they connect. Right? So I look deeper, and I thought I want to try it out. And here I am, 4 years later, 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm loving it. I love the journey that we're having here. It's not as fast as others, but
It's definitely not. Yeah,
but
it's slow and
we're
steady.
we're sticking it in, and we're sticking with it because we really believe that it's actually something that could change
Help,
our
yeah,
life
yeah,
for
change
the
your
better.
lives and also help a lot of
Yeah,
people, right?
yeah.
I mean, part of the reason why I really wanted this business also is that there's a ton of successful people in it already, and yet they're still there not because they want to make more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to help and to give back to the community, and I think that's such an amazing community to be in,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very inspiring people, right?
Yes.
What are your favorite things about this business?
There's a lot. Doing it for more than 3 years now, I've learned to love so many things about it. Love, one of the things is the automation, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
as a busy parents, busy mom and
Mm-hmm.
dads, we love I love the automation part. um Even though it's automated, I still have to work maybe an hour or 2 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
but majority of the heavy lifting is already done for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I really need to do is to check if there's any notification, any updates, any maintenance I need to do
Mm-hmm.
in the back end, and or some advertising updates that I need to do.
Yeah.
And pretty much it's pretty laid back work, kind of work. For me, it works while I'm at home with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
while the kids are running around. And
Right. The best part of it, guys, is that when you wake up and there is a lead that came through or a notification that came through, that's we call it blessings, right? That
yeah.
comes in, and it's
Yeah.
an amazing feeling, and all of that really because of the automation system that this particular program has, and and with that automated system, obviously it takes a lot of time also to actually set it up. It doesn't happen over time,
Yeah.
but when you set it up properly, and that's why we ask
Mm-hmm.
people to go through the training, to go through the proper system. There's a step-by-step system,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're advertising on Facebook. There's a ton of different
Yeah.
rules, right? You need to abide,
Yeah.
and there's a ton of
And staying safe in Facebook,
mhm.
right? Or in other social media platforms,
Mhm.
right? And even though there's training and development for
Mhm.
social online tech stuff,
Mhm.
the training is built in a way that non-tech savvy people
Mhm.
can actually do it.
That's right.
Right? And even an 80-year-old,
Yeah,
uh,
82-year-old
82-year-old
grandma can do it, right?
was doing it in Mexico because
Mhm.
she was able to move all the way to Mexico and live there full time.
Hmm. And
Wow.
part of that, because there is, a build for you system, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
really don't need to. They did most of the heavy lifting,
Mm-hmm.
um, even for the email marketing and all these things.
Yes.
Those are set for you already. You just need
Yes.
to plug
It's
in your
built.
brand.
Mm-hmm.
You need to plug in your personality, right?
Yeah.
That's really what it matters in this kind of business,
Mm-hmm.
because it is some form of attraction marketing. And
Mm-hmm.
the way attraction marketing is that you attract the people that you are like-minded with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people that connects with
With
you.
you. Yeah.
So the good thing about it is, oh, but people ask me, oh, Leejay, why, how's that going to happen? There's a ton of online marketers already, right? There's a ton of online businesses already. And believe it or not, I just we just went through a mastermind,
Mastermind.
and they said that the market penetration for this particular product is less than 1%, right?
Yes.
In
Yeah.
less than 1% in the US,
Yes.
alone,
In just the
right?
US.
So less
Right.
than 1%, about 380 million people in the US alone, is incredible, right? So that means there's a
Yeah.
lot of market
Mhm. Yeah.
opportunity,
There's a lot of opportunity to
expansion, right?
expand
And the good thing about it is that's in the US. Imagine in Europe, right?
a
In
global.
Australia,
Yeah.
in New Zealand, globally, right?
Yeah.
So
Canada.
there's really less than 0.00001%, right? And
Yes.
the reason for that is that the actual um, system is patented, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that nobody really can copy
Can
this
copy
particular
it.
system, right?
Yeah.
Especially for the payout system.
Yeah.
And it is not as easy to, like when you patent something, right? You go through rigorous process of, patenting
Patent.
it
Yeah.
in the U.S., in all over the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's good because we really don't have any competition at all.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want to mention is that yes, there is affiliation in this kind of business, right? There's always
Yes.
going to be, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what you represent, you're always going to be affiliated with somebody. In
Yeah.
fact, if you're working right now, you're already affiliated to your company,
Yeah.
right? If you're working right now, let's say at a fast food or a warehouse or
Mm-hmm.
wherever that is, private or public, you are going to be affiliated with that particular company, that organization, and
Yeah.
therefore, you may not make money in that particular organization, but at the end of the day, you are affiliated to that. The beauty of this company is that we've actually done the research of the
Mm-hmm.
best product, the best service there is available online, and we're able to give this to you right during your onboarding. And with this companies, like what I said, there is a patented system with
Yeah.
them, right? One thing that I really
Yeah.
like too is there's no monthly, right? There's no month to
Yeah,
month.
no monthly fees at all. Because we have uh, done other businesses where you actually have to pay monthly, and it just um, it's a lot of uh, out
Recurring payments.
recurring
Yeah.
payments that you need to do.
Yeah,
So
so there's a ton of different systems out there you need. So
yeah.
typically when you start an online business like this, you need to have your sales and marketing, right? Is number one,
Mm-hmm.
meaning you need to have some sort of CRM, customer relationship management tool.
Yes.
You need to have a fulfillment tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like an invoicing system
Mm-hmm.
or point of sale system, or some sort of system that can track orders, right? And refunds and all these things, right? Number three is that when you're talking about month to month, there are marketing platforms out there that can cost you between 150 all the way to $400 per month for marketing
Yes.
platforms, right?
Yeah.
And you don't need to pay that. You really don't need to pay any of that.
Yeah.
Um, in fact, there's only this one time kind of like membership fee, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we charge, and that itself is also refundable if you think that the business is not for you for 30
Yeah.
days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for 30 days before you do the coaching call with us, this would be refundable to you, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
really, to check us out, it's really for free. There's
Mm-hmm.
really no obligation. The only time that there's going to be obligation is when you decided that you want to do the business.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're going to have investments going on as well as marketing budgets,
Yeah.
but all of that will be discussed during your training, during your onboarding. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's probably one of my most favorite uh, uh, you know a value or
Mm-hmm.
pros for this particular business
Mm-hmm.
is the training and development, right? And what do
Yes.
you think?
Yeah.
What do you think we do there for training and development?
Well, you're gonna learn all things digital marketing, right?
Mhm.
So you're gonna be learning a new skill if you are not in digital marketing yet.
Mhm.
So it's a fast track digital marketing course. It talks about how to advertise in Facebook or in Instagram, in YouTube, in LinkedIn. You're gonna be using the online platforms here, and you're
Mhm.
going to learn a lot on how to use them
Right.
and how to create your audience, how to
Mhm.
grow your
Following.
followers,
Hmm.
right? Everything that you need to know in order to grow the business
Hmm.
is all in the training, which we love, by the way, because it's very rare nowadays to find a training that is fully packaged into growing a business, a certain type of business,
Hmm.
right? Pretty some trainings are very broad, and it's so hard. There are some things that you still need to find out
Hmm.
in some other trainings, but with the trainings that we have in the business, it's all packaged, packed with all information you need to know in order to grow the business
Hmm.
profitably.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The key there, guys, is fast track digital marketing course, right? And I actually work with schools, right? And
Mhm.
when I look at digital marketing, it can be a year. Some of them are a year and a half or 2 years diploma programs, and that there's nothing wrong with that, right? And you can absolutely take a digital marketing diploma if you really want to be a digital marketer. But if you want somebody like us, like if you're a professional already, that's not really willing to switch into a digital marketing a career, right? Let's say, for example, you're a nurse or you're a doctor, or
Mhm.
you're an engineer and you wanted to some
Mhm.
sort of to learn or to have a side hustle, right?
Mhm.
You don't need to really quit your job or to have a complete career turnaround, to learn this. So what Mel was saying is that because this is fast track digital marketing, as you learn, you're already implementing them, right?
Yes.
Imagine when you go through the training program, you want to learn about how domains are bought, how
Mhm.
um, how a funnel is made, right?
Yeah.
All these things are already being made, for you, and
Mhm.
with obviously the guidance of the training system and all
Yes.
of the step by step process that you need to do.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing I want to mention is it looks like there's a divider here, or actually in the same room,
Okay, I'll be right back.
right? Um, the other thing that oh, hang on just a second. Come. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Oh, okay, here we go. The other thing that Mel was saying is training and development, right? And the training and development that we have here in our business is that it's both personal development and business development. And what I mean by that is that there's actually a portion of our business where we heavily focus on your mindset. We focus on your habits, right? We focus, oh, sorry, not focus on your habits, but focus on building good habits, right? um, in fact, the book for the week this week, last week we were supposed to talk about 7 habits of highly
Highly
effective,
effective
right?
people.
To share, but this week we are talking about atomic
Atomic
habits,
habits.
right?
Yeah.
And and part of part of the training is to have a personal development, to develop new habits, right? To develop good habits. And it's interesting because this alone, this 90-day challenge itself is a habit building activity uh, that we committed on, so that in the future we hope that not only we give value to you, but we also
Grow
grow
ourselves.
and acquire that habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is obviously giving value to people and hanging out with you guys,
Yes.
hopefully
Yeah.
in the morning or at night,
Yeah.
um, or wherever you are in the world, right?
Yes.
And a lot of this is packaged in the business, and I've never really seen
Mm-hmm.
any kind of business that way. In
Yeah.
fact, in my years in the corporate world, in order for you to get professionally trained, personally, right, or in business, you need to pay for it. You need to pay for extra things, right? I remember having training with some sort of a sales training,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember my upper management thinking, "Who's going to pay for this?" Right? There was a Tony Robbins event, and I wanted to, because I was, in corporate business to business sales, I wanted to develop myself through, through these materials. And I remember having, obviously my management saying that, you're going to have to pay for it on your own. And so we paid for it on our own, right?
Mm-hmm.
To go into these seminars, to go into this self-development programs, um, and we know from a business perspective that this is an investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Investment to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because Jim Rohn said, for those of you who don't know Jim Rohn, but knows Tony Robbins,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Robbins used to work for Jim
Jim
Rohn,
Rohn.
right? And Jim said, you the best way to look at a career is, and to see self growth, is to work hard on your job, right? But work harder on yourself to build a fortune, right? Work
Mm-hmm.
hard on your job to make a living. Work harder on yourself to be a to
To
build a
build a
fortune.
fortune.
And I think that's one of the key fundamentals here in this online business, right? Because
Yes.
every single entrepreneur you're going to meet in that community is building themselves up,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And when they build themselves up, they build the people around them, and when they build people around them, they build their business with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of this success, all of this money, really, I can see that, when I observe them, I can see that this is just cherry on top of what
Mm-hmm.
they really love doing, which is building people,
Yes.
connecting with people, helping them out. Um, like what told you earlier, like this earlier this season, I was mentioning about how we got sparked and how we got really, uh, what's the word I'm looking for, inspired
Inspire
by our our
our
group,
group.
right?
Yeah. True.
Because they show up, right? And
Yes.
therefore you also want to show up, right?
Yeah.
When they do a challenge like this, you see people doing the challenge like this, and if they can do it, we I believe that we can do it as well, right?
Yes.
No matter how complicated life can get, and it's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be complicated. It's always going to be difficult and challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reflecting on the life of my uncle, who just passed away, and you know no matter where you look at it, no matter where you are in the world,
Mm-hmm.
it's always going to be challenging. There's always going to be a risk. There's going to be choices that's made, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had the privilege also to have a talk to our community, a church community, um,
Last
yesterday.
Sunday. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yesterday.
yesterday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was, one of the sharing that I said there is that God has given us the ability to decide for ourselves, right? And it's called free will. And
Mm-hmm.
this free will is almost like a godlike, status, right, to decide for on our own,
Yeah.
and that our God is really a loving God, that He's given us this, and that He pretty much gave us the option to worship Him or to worship somebody else or something else, and it's human beings that always have this sinful heart, and yet with all the sinful things that we do, God has is still opening His arms, right, for us, anytime we can go back to. And I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but I felt like that's what business is all about as well, right? I mean, the business world, not only in our communities, in in the grand scheme of things, the business world still can welcome anyone that wants to try it, that wants to have a future with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with employment. I mean, in fact, that's the thing that you need in order to
In
get
order,
started,
yeah.
right? Be employed,
Yes.
right?
It's the
um,
first thing that you would do.
right.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
employed. Learn something. Learn from
Yeah. Learn a
somebody,
new skill.
right?
Yeah.
um, and then eventually, when people are jumping in to become full-time entrepreneurs, full-time business
Yes.
owners, awesome, right?
Yeah.
um, if that is the goal, awesome. But there's also people like the professional people that's in our group, that are engineers, that are doctors, that are lawyers,
Yeah.
and so they stick to the thing that they love doing,
Yes.
and they're still able to do this,
Yes.
right? um,
Because it's online,
it's
right?
online, yeah.
Everything is done online. All the work that you need to do,
Hmm.
all you really need is a laptop and an internet.
Right.
As long as you have that, you can do it
Mhm.
anywhere.
In fact, we have a
Yeah.
specific program for these professionals that are coming on board, right? So if you're a teacher, if you're a dentist, if you are in your healthcare profession, you're a nurse, there is a specific program designed for you to get a fast track approach, a modular approach in your own terms, right? You want to go slow, that's fine. You want to go fast, that's fine as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
all of us in the professional field are always going to be busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be no space in my calendar. The other day, I was looking at my calendar last week, and there's really no space there. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
waste any time in my calendar. And I think that's to actually find time to even have a live session like this, right, is
Mm-hmm.
a challenge in itself. And so for those of you that are professionals out there, right, don't worry, we have a system for you that actually works out for a lot of people like you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's a ton, to discuss on all about our business episode.
Yes, and there's so much more to see. Like, even having a community of like-minded people,
Mhm.
right? Like a community of over 200 people who
Mhm.
would celebrate you when you are having milestones, like that means a lot.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know
like when we posted just recently, we were mind blown,
yeah.
because there's hundreds of them that just congratulated us, said
Yes.
hi to us,
Yes.
and that we knew that they were also in the same journey as us,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like-minded individuals, right? If you are a nurse, the chances are there's probably 1,000 nurses out there. If you are a business executive, there's chances are there's thousands of business executive there. If
Yeah.
you're an engineer, the same thing, there's thousands of engineers there. If
Yes.
you're in trades, in fast food,
Yes.
in production, in warehousing, it doesn't matter where you work, right? There's
Yes.
200,000 individuals that's actually in that community, right?
Yes.
And I think
And we're
there's
talking about the online community,
we're
right?
online, global community, probably one of the biggest, community of online entrepreneurs out there. And people might say, "Oh, Leejay, but there's going to be a product, right? There's going to be, you know, a company." And what I would say to that is that we actually did all the research all the heavy lifting,
Mm-hmm.
to give you the best product in the world, the
Yes.
best compensation
And
system.
when
Mhm.
people talk about products, they always say, "Oh, what is the product?"
Right.
And like, it doesn't really matter what the product is, because you don't have to sell the product.
Hmm.
You don't have to like post it online, or
Right.
gather up some
Your friends
people
and
and
families.
do some presentations. Right? Like,
That's right.
we're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
We're just affiliated with companies,
Right.
and that's how we earn online.
Right.
Right?
It's interesting. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Yes, there's no selling, you guys. And with what Mel is saying, there are products, right? But there's no selling.
Yes, you don't
Uh,
have to sell the
right.
product.
It's weird to say it that way,
Yes.
but once you actually got into it and
Yes.
understand what the system looks like, it's easier to it's easy when it's
To
easier to understand when you're
understand.
actually in it and you're doing
Yes.
the system,
Yes.
because what Mel is saying is the truth, right? There's no selling, right?
Yes.
We are in the marketing game, we are in the
Yes.
marketing business, and
Yes.
therefore it is also a skill to learn marketing,
Yes.
digital marketing, online
Yeah.
marketing.
And even when we're doing advertising and social media, we
Mhm.
don't even mention any products.
Any
We're
product,
not
no,
selling any products
no.
here. The only thing that, if ever there's any selling involved, is we're selling ourselves.
Right,
we,
the attraction that
yeah,
comes with it, right? Like,
yeah.
can you actually connect with us?
Yes,
Do you really want to work with us, right?
yes.
I think that's the
Like,
gist of why we're doing all of this branding, all of
yes.
this content, is to know more
Of
who
who you
are
want, who you're gonna be working with,
exactly who our
right?
audience is, right?
Mm-hmm.
um at the beginning of this challenge, I was telling Mel that we should have an audience avatar, and
Yes.
we were gonna call it, what are we gonna call it? I can't remember what is
Laura
that.
or
Something like that.
Linda.
Yeah.
Linda, was it Linda?
Something like that, right,
Yeah,
Linda?
yeah.
And
We should have a man name,
right,
a male name,
right.
Linda and
Linda and I don't know, Lori.
Laura.
um
Lori sounds like a girl.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Linda and Lee.
LL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
LL.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope we delivered that in a more diplomatic way, right? Of saying that we don't sell anything.
Yes.
Um, you know, at the end of the day, there is going to be a skill, there's going to be a system, there's going to be a training process for you, and it's a step-by-step system, right? We're trying to figure out our organic reach. Who are the
Mm-hmm.
people that's actually attracted to this particular platform? And it's not for everybody, right? And that's one thing. But if you're coachable, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to really invest your time and money, right,
Mm-hmm.
to learn the system, to actually have an understanding that you're getting into it as a business. I was posting the other day because I usually see these wannabe entrepreneurs that are spending so much things that before they start the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, somebody told me, one of my mentors told me that um, if a hobby spends money and a business actually makes money, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when people actually think that they are um, doing a business, but all they do is spending on it, right? And that they supposed to do what they love, and they spend more and more on it.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning from London.
Good
Yes,
morning,
Danielle.
Daniela.
Right. Good morning. It's nighttime now
Here in
in
Alberta.
Alberta, right? Almost 11.
Yes.
Nice to see you around, Daniela.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, we were, like I always see these people that throws a ton of money in a particular platform, um, and what happened is that it becomes a hobby now, right? It's not a business anymore.
Yes.
And I think what we have here as a platform is that we really teach people on even how to manage their finances, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a personal finance aspect of this business, like
Yes, like we teach them
hmm,
how to save on tax, you know,
right?
like um
There's tax implications, right?
mhm.
um when and this is the beauty of it. We're in the tax season here in Canada, by the way, and Mel was just telling me about, you know, how the tax system really is designed for business people, right?
Mhm.
And because, you know, I know it sounds kind of biased, right? But this is the truth, right? Business
Yes.
people, take the risk. They
Yes.
take the they need to have the guts to actually run a particular business, and therefore they are being rewarded with the tax breaks, right?
Yeah, tax breaks, tax deductions from
Hmm.
their expenses,
Hmm.
all their business expenses,
That's right.
right?
I was telling Mel
And
is
compared
an
to
employee,
an
for example, an employee can just quit anytime, or they can go on EI, they can go in different things, right? They have different directions, but the person, the top of this organization, will almost always have the risk, if either losing everything or making everything, and therefore when they get rewarded, um, I feel like I respect them, right? In terms
mhm.
of being rewarded of what they've actually worked with.
Mhm.
And when you have your own business, you would act the same way.
Yes.
When you're budgeting for your marketing budget, for your ads budget, for for your, I don't know,
Business
gears,
meetings.
business meetings, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Car expenses, right? Like
right. So when you're traveling, for example,
mhm.
so these are all expenses that are
Mhm.
associated in running your business, but at the same time, it's also tax deductible in your bottom line, and therefore you can get tax breaks from it, right?
Mhm.
It's a beautiful thing, guys. Trust me, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. If
Yes,
only
to own a
more
business.
to own a business,
Yeah.
if only more people can understand this
Mhm.
particular concept, it's a no-brainer. It's really a
Yeah.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Now you might ask, Leejay, why would I not just do my own business? By all means, you can do it, right? Like there's sky's the limit, right? Like you have free will, like what I was telling you about. People can decide on their own of
Mhm.
what they want to do.
Mhm.
But what we're here for is that what we can say is that in our community, we are here to help people. We are, if you join our community, we
Mhm.
are going to be your direct mentors. In
Mhm.
fact, it's not only a mentor that you're going to get, there's also a coach, there's also a
Yes.
business coach that's assigned to it. And that there is a community that's going to help you, right?
Yes. Celebrate with you.
Celebrate with you,
Right.
be more successful with you.
Yes.
You get to learn from other people's mistake, right? Some
Yes.
of the things that I was talking about in my team at my works is that you really don't need to do or to experience all the mistake in order for you to learn, right?
Yes.
You just need to really
Listen
listen,
to
right?
what
Listen to the
other
people.
people's mistakes are.
Exactly. I had the privilege to to listen to some of these people's mistakes,
Yes.
and that cost them a few $100,000, but that didn't cost me anything. you know
Yes. Yeah.
you know what it's going to cost me though?
Yes.
my
Just time and
my time and effort,
effort.
right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to cost me. It's not going to cost me with all those financial mess
Mhm.
up that they had, right?
Mhm.
um, and that's the beauty of being in this community, in this type of system, because it really is designed for you to be successful, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, there's going to be cons, right? I'm not trying to give you all the flowers here.
Yeah.
uh, there's always going to be hard work involved, right? So if
Yes.
you're hardworking, if you're willing to stay up late at night, um,
Yeah.
or to to
Yeah.
actually
Willing to do
read
extra work.
extra words, not read, but watch a ton of videos, and actually do them as well. Do whatever
Or
is in that.
there's not a ton of videos, but it's an option to watch because it's something to learn, right?
Of course, right?
Yes.
um, and a lot of this is available to you right on
Yeah.
at your fingertips. You can access this on your phone, on your laptop, anywhere, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So there you go, guys. There's so many things we want to talk about on all about our business. But if you're catching us on a sorry, on the
Recorded
yeah,
version.
recorded version,
Yeah.
comment
Replay.
below, right, where you're watching from, and reach out to us, right? Some of the
Yes.
topics you want us to cover.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Let us know if you have any questions. You can message us, or you can go straightly to our website.
mhm,
Um, our website is leejayandmelissa.com,
mhm.
and you can put your name and email address there, and we'll send you a link and communicate to you by email.
That's right. That's the best way to get started with this, right? It's a 90-minute webinar. Um, Everybody has to go through this webinar. I think Amelia is a little bit
Yeah.
sleepy now. But yeah, hopefully we see you guys on the inside.
Mhm.
If you don't watch that live webinar, that's fine. There's also a recorded version of it. If you don't want to start with a 90-minute, go have a 5-minute conversation with us. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So
And
thanks a
we'll
lot,
answer
guys.
all your questions.
Yes, we're gonna answer all of your
Yeah.
questions.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a
Bye.
great
Have a good night
morning.
and have a great morning.
Good night. Good morning. Say
Yeah,
bye.
bye.